Good morning, guys. I hope you're all doing well today. I'm going to continue with the next excerpt of my story, the first novel in a series. He entered the cramped room while he and his two brothers all slept. Where he and his two brothers all slept. Twin mattresses strewn all across the floor of his parents, as his parents had not bothered to set up their beds for them. Alan gingerly stepped across them, taking care not to disturb the dirty dishes that were sitting upon them, and sat at a desk in the corner of the room. His backpack was sitting beside him. He opened it up, pulled out his assigned work, and began the routine. Now we're going on to the next section. The sweat poured out of Alan's face as he dribbled the basketball towards the basket, his calves pulsating as he tried to decide which direction to go. He was 16 years old now, and had grown more than a foot taller and 20 pounds lighter. His facial features having nearly finished growing in, a chiseled jawline to complement the imposing 6'1" figure he had grown into. He was at the top of his class academically, as well as physically. Alan spun around his defender and pulled up to hit a 12-foot jump shot. "Oh man, that's game," said one of the members of the opposing team. "Maybe next time you'll be a bit less like a jellyfish on the court," said Alan, without the slightest hint of exhaustion. "Oh, ha ha, very funny. Well, I gotta go. I have practice in about 20 minutes, said the player on the opposing team that had been defending Alan, who himself was quite the imposing figure. "Cool. Same time tomorrow, then?" They all agreed and split away to their various obligations. Alan remained at the basketball court for a few minutes. He always did this, because it offered him the opportunity to be alone with his thoughts of which he knew no one else could understand, and that he would thus never be able to divulge. He and his family had moved another 4 times, but it seemed to him they were finally settling down. They had been in this one location since Alan started high school. This is something he was not very accustomed to, but he was flourishing. This ritual he had of coming to the basketball courts behind the high school gym to be by himself for a few minutes every day was his reminder that his mind was his alone, even if he tried to give it to someone else. Alan lifted his now lean arms and elevated for another jump shot, when out of the corner of his eye he spotted a beautiful young woman, presumably another student at the school. This threw him off, but he regained his balance and still managed to hit the shot. He looked over towards her. His mind and demeanor had completely changed in the 7 years since his previous trauma. He found himself aloof, disinterested, even amongst the most beautiful of women in his eyes. It was not because he had no interest. It was because he had submitted. He had submitted to a singular purpose in life: self-preservation. Even if he did not know this on a conscious level. His interest in the female species was now purely carnal, as he had never been able to find a woman who could penetrate the labyrinths of his mind, and knew that he likely never would. He looked at this young woman and felt this carnal urge, as her beauty seemed intoxicating to him. "I saw you playing those other guys. You're good," she said, blushing uncontrollably. Why, he thought, would a young woman like this be interested in me, of all people? There were plenty of other guys at this school that would kill to be with a girl as pretty as her. Alan had no idea how attractive of a man he actually was. When he looked in the mirror, all he saw was himself. Nothing more, nothing less. But he would play along. "You liked that, eh? Well, I've got plenty more where that came from," he said with a lurid smirk on his face. Alan took great care to make sure his vocabulary remained simple, easy to understand. but at this point he was an old pro at it. This is how he had become one of the most popular kids at school, developing a certain sarcasm that was both scathing and gentle at the same time. And that's this section of the story. I'll come back at you with the next one tomorrow. Love y'all. Peace.